Dear students, I am Professor Prakash Rao, M.Com Coordinator, Tunga College, Tirthalli. This is my 11th video under the subject Indian Accounting Standard. In this video, I am going to explain you about Ind AS 21, the effects of changes in foreign exchange rates. We shall have some background information about the effect of changes in foreign exchange rates under Ind AS 21. That means how the Ind AS 21 guides us as to how the changes in foreign exchange rates are to be accounted in the books of accounts. Ind AS 21, the effects of changes in foreign exchange rates, outlines how to account for foreign exchange currency transactions and operations in financial statements, and also how to translate financial statements into presentation currency. That means how foreign exchange rate differences are adjusted in the books of accounts and how the foreign exchange transactions are recorded in functional and presentation currencies. An entity is required to determine a functional currency based on the primary economic environment in which it operates, and generally records foreign exchange transactions, that is foreign currency transactions, using the spot conversion rate to that functional currency on the date of transaction. For example, to make it clear, an Indian company being 100% export oriented operations in Europe will have euro as functional currency and rupee as presentation currency, because Indian company has to present its financial statements in rupee and it operates in Europe, and hence it will have euro as functional currency. Now, to make it clear what is functional currency and presentation currency, we shall consider the definitions. Functional currency, the currency of most of the transactions in which the entity operates. In the given example, being the company deals most of the transactions in Europe, euro will be the functional currency. Presentation currency, the currency in which financial statements are presented. After recording the transactions in functional currency, the same has to be presented in the form of financial statements using the presentation currency, and that currency is known as, for example, in the example, the Indian company has to present the financial statements in rupee, then it should be the presentation currency. Then exchange difference, the difference resulting from translating a given number of units of one currency into another currency at different exchange rates. When functional currencies are translated into presentation currency at different exchange rates, there would arise exchange differences, that is known as exchange difference. Foreign operation, a subsidiary, associate, joint venture or branch whose activities are based in a country or currency other than that of the reporting entity. For example, an Indian company may be having a subsidiary company or associate or joint venture in a foreign land, or it may be having a foreign branch, then it will have foreign operations. Then basic steps for translating foreign currency into functional currency. When the foreign transactions take place, and it has to be recorded in the functional currency because most of the transactions take place in that currency, the basic steps that should be followed. Steps apply to standalone entity, an entity with foreign operations or a foreign operation through a foreign subsidiary or branch. That means the foreign operations may be conducted through a subsidiary company or through its branch. In such a case, the reporting entity determines its functional currency, which is suitable. In case it operates foreign transactions in different currencies, most of the transactions are conducted in a particular currency, it may select the functional currency. The entity translates all foreign currency items into its functional currency. That means in case there are different transactions at different currencies, then the transactions are to be translated into the selected functional currency. Then entity reports the effects of such transactions and tax effects of exchange differences in accordance with paragraph 20 to 37 and 50 of Ind AS 21. Recording of foreign currency transactions. A foreign currency transaction should be recorded initially at the rate of exchange at the date of transaction. That means when the transaction takes place, immediately at that date, what would be the exchange rate? At that rate, the transaction is recorded. Use of average is permitted if they are reasonably approximation of actual. If in case there may be slight variations in different transactions with reference to the exchange rates, average rate, if it is convenient, that can be taken. At each subsequent balance sheet, foreign currency value of monetary items should be reported using the closing rate. That means at the end of the financial period, that is balance sheet date, foreign currency value of monetary items here refers to the items on which monies are payable or receivable. For example, debtors, creditors, bills receivable, bills payable, etc. Non-monetary items carried at historical cost should be reported using the exchange rate at the date of transaction. That means non-monetary items means fixed assets, etc. They are to be recorded at the rate at the date of transaction. That means a fixed asset is purchased on a particular date. On that date, what is the exchange rate? That has to be taken into account. Then non-monetary items carried at fair value should be reported at the rate that existed when fair values are determined. In case the non-monetary items are recorded not at the purchase values, then they have to be recorded at fair values. If they are recorded at fair values, on that date, what is the rate that should be considered? Where to account exchange differences? Exchange differences arising when monetary items are settled or when monetary items are translated at rates different from those at which they were translated when initially recognized, or in previous financial statements are reported in profit or loss account in the period, with one exception. That means monetary items are settled or when they are translated at different rates, naturally there would arise exchange differences. Initially recognized in the previous financial statements means in the previous balance sheets or financial statements, they may be recorded at a particular day rates, and subsequently the rates may change. With one exception, the exception is that exchange differences of the reporting entity's net investment in foreign operation are recognized in other comprehensive income. The exception is if there is exchange difference of the reporting entity's net investment in foreign operation. In case the entity invests in foreign operations, then that exchange difference should be treated as other comprehensive income, and that should not be shown in the profit and loss account. Other comprehensive incomes are shown in the balance sheet. They will become part of equity, and they will be recognized in profit or loss on disposal of the net investment. In case that investment is disposed of, the net price will be taken into account, and the profit or loss on such disposal will be accounted in the profit and loss account. Till that time, it will be treated under comprehensive income. Coming to translation from functional currency to the presentation currency. As the books of accounts are recorded in functional currency, they have to be translated to presentation currency. The results and financial position of an entity in functional currency is translated into presentation currency using the following procedure. Assets and liabilities are translated at the closing rate at the date of that balance sheet. That means in the balance sheet, assets and liabilities are to be translated at the closing rate on the date of the balance sheet. Income and expenses are translated at exchange rates at the dates of transactions. That means when the items of income and expenses arises, on that day what is the exchange rate that has to be considered for income and expenses. All resulting exchange differences are recognized in other comprehensive income. That means the resulting exchange differences should be treated as item of comprehensive income. Now we shall consider two illustrations. Here in the first illustration, Future Limited sells an energy drink that is sold throughout the world. Sales of the energy drink comprise over 90% of the revenue of Future Limited. For convenience and consistency in pricing, sales of the energy drink are denominated in US dollar. That means Futures Limited sells a particular product, and that product accounts 90% of its revenue, and it has selected US dollar for convenience because it sells throughout the world, but US dollar is considered as a convenience currency for record. All financing activities of Future Limited are in local currency, although the company holds some US dollar as cash reserves. Almost all the costs incurred by Future Limited are denominated in local currency. What is the functional currency of Future Limited? Here the Future Limited sells the product throughout the world, and it has selected US dollar for convenience sake. And most of its transactions are in local currency. Now what is the functional currency of Future Limited? The explanation is like this. The functional currency of Future Limited is the local currency. Looking at the primary indicators, the facts presented indicate that the currency that mainly influences the cost of producing the energy drink is in local currency. As stated in the fact pattern, pricing of the product in US dollar is done only for the convenience and consistency purpose. There is no indication that the sales price is influenced by the US dollar. Now in the given example, US dollar is considered only for convenience sake, and most of the transactions are undertaken in local currency, and hence the concern Future Limited has to consider functional currency in local currency only, and there is no evidence that indicates the sale price is influenced by US dollar. So the question of functional currency is decided as local currency. Perhaps you have understood the illustration. It is very simple. Going to another illustration, it is said the functional and presentation currency of P is US dollar, while the functional currency of its subsidiary S is Euro. P sold goods having value of US dollar 100 to S. Here P refers to parent company and S refers to subsidiary company. P sold goods having value of US dollar 100 to S when the exchange rate was US dollar 1 equals Euro 2. At the year end, the amount is still due and the exchange rate of US dollar 1 equals Euro 2.2. The exchange rate differs. Initially it was 2 when the transaction took place, and now at the end of the year the exchange rate differs. 1 US dollar becomes 2.2. How should the exchange differences be accounted for in the consolidated financial statements? Now P Limited has to prepare the consolidated financial statements at the year end. Now the analysis is done as follows. At the year end, S should revalue its accounts payable in euro because the amount is not yet settled. 100 US dollar into 2.2 year end rate is considered. So 100 US dollar into 2.2 equals 220. So S Limited should revalue its accounts payable. It is though the transaction took place when the exchange rate was $1 was into equals 2 euros. Now the exchange rate differs. Now the amount is to be considered as 100 US dollar into 2.2, that comes to 220. Recognizing a loss of 220 minus 100 US dollar into 2, that means 220 euros in its standalone profit or loss. Thus in the books of S, the balance payable to P will appear at euro 220, while in the books of P, the balance receivable from S will be US dollar 100. Now, consolidated balance sheet has to be prepared, wherein the payables and receivables between S and P are to be mutually adjusted. For consolidation purposes, the assets and liabilities of S will be translated to US dollar at the closing rate, that is US dollar 100, which will get eliminated against the receivables in the books of P. That means, while preparing the consolidated balance sheet, the mutual owings are to be cancelled. But the euro 20 exchange loss recorded in subsidiaries statement of profit and loss has no equivalent gain in parents' financial statements. Therefore, euro 20 as a loss will remain in the consolidated statement of profit and loss. The reason for this is that the intra-group balance represents a commitment to translate euro into US dollar, and this is similar to holding a foreign currency asset in the parent company. The subsidiary must go out and buy US dollar to settle the obligation to parent company, because subsidiary company has to pay in US dollar. That means the exchange difference has to be recognized, because in case he has to pay in US dollar, it has to buy in US dollar only. That means it has to shell out 220 euros, not 200 euros. So group as a whole has an exposure to foreign currency risk. The illustration is very much clear with regarding how the exchange rate difference has to be adjusted in the books of accounts when consolidated financial statements are prepared. Hope you have understood the illustration. Thank you.